Up to Boxing Brothers UK. Subscribe now. Boom, boom.
Boxing Bros UK here. I am the boss, Chris. It's Andrew, the Boxing Brain.
I am.
And we're talking about Josh Kelly. A bit about his career, his background, before we go into our predictions of his fight against Murtazaliev on the 30th of January. So not, 30th of January. This Saturday.
Yeah, good fight. Really good fight, isn't it? Yeah. Let's get straight into it with a little bit of what happened with Josh Kelly's career, because I kind of put him in that category, right? And this is more for the predictions later, Chris, but I kind of put him in there alongside like Anthony Yarde and Ben Whittaker. He's got that sort of about him, all the talent in the world, speed, good looking, all good looking boys, aren't they? You know what I mean? All got the amateur background.
Nazim, weren't he?
Yeah, other than Anthony Yarde, he didn't have, a big amateur pedigree, but you know, I'll get into that later, but they all kind of look the part, skills for days. Anyway, Josh Kelly's 31 now. This will be his 18th fight. He's not exactly progressed quickly in his career, obviously rebuilt a bit after Avanesian. But I just wanted to ask you, Chris, because obviously as an amateur, he won a bronze at the Euros in Azerbaijan, and then he was an Olympian at was it Rio? I'm sure it was the Rio Olympics. Yeah, he lost in the round of 16, which is no shame because he lost to the eventual gold medal winner, whose name I'm going to murder, Daniya Yelusinov. So hopefully I've got that right. So, you know, good amateur pedigree, skills for days. We know that twitchy, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe, you know, started at welter, moved up to super welter. Anyway, I'm going on too long. What's happening? His career stagnated a bit, Chris. What's that? What happened with him, do you think?
I think the Avanesian loss was what killed it for him, because Avanesian he wasn't no great shakes, really. No, it wasn't a world beater.
European champ at the time, wasn't he, Chris? Like European level.
But it wasn't. It was just a very, very tough. It was just a very, very tough game, man. With a never say die attitude. Like, he even tried to stick it on Terence Crawford a few times.
He did,
like,
yeah.
He was just a tough man. And
tennis,
I think
he caught boot tennis a few times, Chris, didn't he?
Yeah. And I think just the fact that all the pressure that was on him, like, he was touted to be the next Prince Nazim. His Olympic pedigree, all that, and the pressure and the backlash of losing to someone like Avanesian in the way that he did, where he just crumbled. He just crumbled, and he really had to rebuild from that. And I think that's where it went wrong. But to be fair, I thought his rebuild was a bit weird at first, because he started fighting on Channel 5 for free, fighting nobodies. But I see the plan. And I don't like his fighting style myself. I think he's boring because he just slaps. It's like Joe Calzaghe at the end of his career. He just slaps and kind of runs away. And not even, I thought actually that's a bit disrespectful, because Joe Calzaghe didn't run away, really.
He had problems with his hands, Chris, didn't he, Calzaghe? Yeah. I think
he just slaps them and he literally runs. He slaps and runs and slaps and runs. And I really don't rate that kind of boxing style. But it works for him. And he beat Troy Williamson. He's beat a few other guys, like okay names, and I think he's rebuilt stronger and better for his style.
Yeah. I'm just looking over. Yeah. It's just one of, before we get on to like the prediction or break down the fight a little bit, I suppose it's one of those like where he kind of had everything there. I think it was like Adam Booth was saying. Was it Adam Booth was saying he's the most talented fighter he's had in his gym for a long time? Yeah, which says it all, doesn't it? But he just didn't sort of, I think you're right. I think the Avanesian defeat and the manner of it, which he showed a bit of heart in that, because did the towel come in that fight? I think it did, didn't it?
It might have been. I'm not too sure what was crumbling.
He had a bad cut as well, and it just and he obviously tried to rebuild a little bit. And at 31 now, you just kind of think, going into this fight with Murtazaliev for the IBF super well. Obviously, that's the other thing as well. He's obviously, I'm assuming he was struggling a bit at welter, maybe to make the weight as he's got a bit older. I don't know that actually, but moving up to super welter, then he's sort of flattered to deceive against Ishmael Davis as well. But yeah. Anything more to add, Chris,
Yeah,
on kind of
I think
what went wrong a little bit?
yeah, it's just the Ammonisium fight, but I do think that his rebuild now is looking all right. He flattered to deceive against Ishmael Davis, but he's going to flatter to deceive against anybody. Like, that's his style. He's never going to be someone who's going to like be winning a fight and then go through the gears and knock you out or take you apart. What he's learned in his rebuild is this is my style. This is how I can win. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, like, he was winning the Ishmael Davis fight. He was winning every single round. And Ishmael Davis came on a little bit towards the end of the fight. But I think we was all duped into that thing where he'd been losing every single round so badly. When he actually did something, we think he's doing better than he is. And he weren't actually winning them late rounds. He was just making it competitive. But because he was doing so shit and he was actually doing something, we're like, thinking that he's winning the rounds, and he was just making him competitive, if you know what I mean.
What's strange about that, though, Chris? I mean, I watched it back as well. Was that if Ishmael Davis had maybe stepped on the gas sort of rounds, the early championship rounds, he might have actually been, because Ishmael Davis has had that. I like Ishmael Davis. I think he's a real try. But he's a terribly slow starter. He obviously had that good win against Sam Gilly recently to become British Commonwealth. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. We'll get into predictions in a minute, but I think, you know, someone of Josh Kelly's quality shouldn't be labouring to a victory against Ishmael Davis's ceiling is British and Commonwealth. I mean that respectfully. That's his ceiling. Josh Kelly, with his talent, and in my opinion, a very, very talented fighter, probably doesn't have the power to keep a lot of fighters honest, which is the problem we'll get into. He should be coasting. Like you say, he was coasting for 7-8 rounds, you're right. If Ishmael Davis had actually let his hands go early, we might have actually stopped Josh Kelly. Ifs, buts, maybes, Kelly won. But,
I get what you're saying, because obviously, but in Josh Kelly's mind, I'm winning, so I'm not changing anything. Why should I? Why should I risk getting knocked out by this guy? There's too much at stake, blah, blah, blah. They can boo me all they want. I don't care. It's all about the W. And I think for Ishmael Davis, like, some fighters, they get stuck into this. Dave Allen does it. When someone's a lot faster than them and the movement's better and whatever, they get scared to throw because they're there and they think, right, if I throw a jab, he's going to counter me because of our positioning. So they think too much. And they won't throw because they know they're going to get countered. And then before you know it, 3 minutes has gone like that. Just lost the round. And that's the sad thing. Like, because some people haven't got it in them where they think, fuck it, I'm going to bite down on my gum shield and just swing it out. And when they do decide to do that, it's too little, too late.
Yeah.
And I think that was a problem for Ishmael Davis. Like you say, if he would have just had a bit more belief in himself, he might have could have forced a stoppage or made it a better fight, or forced Josh Kelly to go up a few gears. We don't know.
Because we saw that the blueprint maybe of Ammonisium, and we'll get onto that with Murtazalia in a minute, who's a very good pressure fighter. Well, let's move into we might as well move into the predictions now, because we kind of gone over that now. So I'll tell you a few interesting stats with Murtazalia. So he had 170 amateur fights, 153 and 17. He's from the same region as Artur, your favourite fighter, the Terminator, Aymar Baturbiev. Both Chechen, North Caucasus region. I had to double check my that they were. I've affectionately called him Murtazalia because he has got a bit of that Baturbiev. He loves to walk you down. Got a chin as well. We saw that with Tim Tszyu. Like he's got a set of whiskers on him. Yeah, become IBF champ. Obviously 5'11.5", 2-inch reach over Josh Kelly. Don't know how much of that's going to play a part. So yeah, 33 now. Been a little bit inactive. Josh Kelly, I think, fought a guy called Flavio Reyes fairly recently, beat him in a round, so probably not ideal preparation. I think we could safely say, first of all, Chris, they've both been not very active. So I don't, that in terms of sharpness, I don't know. I don't know how sharp they're both going to be.
Like,
Depends on their camp.
When was let me see if I can bring it up.
Murtazaliev's last fight was Tim Tszyu, I think, which was October 2024 off the top of my head. I might have that wrong if you get the.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it up now. 1 sec. So I got Josh Kelly up. So his last fight was June. June, that guy that he beat in a round.
Yeah.
June 2025. And then his fight before that was Ishmael Davis, September 2024. So he's only been fighting once a year.
Yeah.
Then let me get Murtazaliev up. So his last fight, October, Tim Tszyu. April, that Clay.
Yeah.
That Clay guy. Yeah. So they've both been quite inactive, both of them.
31 and 33. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So let's because we've both got completely different opinions on this. So, but when Chris is going to give his take, and I'm going to give my who I'm going for. So, leave in the comments as well. I know you put a post up, but leave in the comments who you think one way or the other.
It's going. Do you know our votes? Yeah, I think there's like 51 votes, and it's 60-40 Murtazaliev.
Which is, I think, the general consensus I've got is 60-40, 70-30. So, that's probably about. I think that's the general consensus. But yeah, do you want to take it away first with yours, or do you want me?
I'm picking Josh Kelly for the win, and I'll tell you why. Because Murtazaliev, he hasn't fought at this level, like world title level, at all, really. Like Tim Tszyu, but we've seen him when he fought, is it Bakaram or whatever, when he got destroyed, or Figueroa, like Fondora, sorry, like there's something not quite right with him right now, like, and it was a good win, but it was only 3 rounds. We haven't seen him, and I think when he fought that guy, what's he called now, the one that took him 11 rounds, Jack Kukale or whatever he's called, Kukale.
He spoke about that, actually. He said, don't judge me on that performance. I wasn't right. I remember him saying that. But I don't know how much you want to...
Yeah, but I remember Roberto Duran said that to someone when he knocked him out. Don't judge me on that, because I knocked him out this time. Next time he's going to the morgue. But Roberto Duran was fucking killer. But anyway, but like, he went 11 rounds, and that's the only time he's been 11 rounds. All the other ones have been early stoppages, but they've all been 8-rounders, 10-rounders. He hasn't been in any 12 round bouts, only a couple.
17 knockouts, isn't he? But like you say, not the greatest CV, I think it's fair to say. Good amateur, but not the great. I think that's fair to say.
He hits very, very hard. But I just think that Josh Kelly's rebuilt, and he's learned from the Avanesian fight, and he obviously beat Troy Williamson. And he's got more discipline now. He's not going to get carried away. And so if he's winning the rounds, cruising, he won't change it. He'll just keep on doing what he's doing. And I don't think that Murtazaliev is going to be quick enough, because he is a little bit slower than Josh Kelly. He's going to be quick enough, ring savvy enough to cut the ring off. And he gets hit way, way too much. He can say, don't judge me on that fight all you want. But he was getting hit way, way, way too much. And like, the thing with Beterbiev, he looked like a miniature Beterbiev when I was watching his fight.
They're basically the same.
It's a miniature version. But the thing that's different between Beterbiev is very good at parrying punches and slipping them, and like just like riding the shots. I didn't see that much of that from him. I seen him getting hit and taking a step back, and then stepping off to a different direction and trying to go forward again. I didn't see him like, I can't because of my arm. with his arm up, like Beterbiev kind of slaps and counters you and carries on moving forward. And I didn't really see much of that from him. And he was getting hit way too much. And Josh Kelly, there might be slapping punches, but when someone's lightning fast and they're moving around little B, and you're not hitting them, and the rounds are going on, and he hasn't gone. I think he's gone to round 11 once. He hasn't been in that situation. He's got a lack of experience of championship rounds and all that. And they brought him over here to fight for the title in Newcastle, in Kelly's backyard. So they must think that they must see something, that this guy's easy pickings for us. Like, we're going to beat this guy. Or like, why would you do that? It's a bit putting all that pressure on yourself for a world title to fight someone that you might lose against. Do you know what I mean? So they must think, like, this guy, we can beat him and we can beat him. And I think that he's learned a lot from his rebuilds, improved, more disciplined. He's not caring about showing off for the fans too much. He doesn't want to, never, ever wants to sit down in his punches ever and hold his feet. He's always got an escape route. So for that reason, I think Josh Kelly's going to beat him. Unanimous decision.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see some of the points. So you think he's probably not going to hurt Murtazanin, but you think he's going to nick a lot of rounds, just be quicker to the punch, and yeah.
Slap him up for 12 rounds. Just going to slap him, run away for 12 rounds.
I think because that's the thing for me. The only way, because I'm going the complete opposite, but the only way I think Josh Kelly can win this is in my mind is he's got to nick as many of those early rounds as possible. Murtazalev's not the quickest stop. We saw that with Tszyu. They were just trading pretty much from the off. And Tszyu, I don't think Kelly's not going to have anything to kind of bother him artillery-wise. I mean, Tim Tszyu can punch a bit. And they were just bouncing off his chin, and he was just walking forward, counter left hooks. So I think Josh Kelly's got to nick a lot of early rounds and then bank on his gas tank, which, as you say, probably is a little bit improved. Seems to be a bit better at super welter, managing those rounds. I think that's true, definitely. I mean, I suppose the thing is, because he's very twitchy, Josh Kelly relies a lot on that fainting twitchy. I mean, that requires a lot of energy. So I hope, because look, we're a UK channel. I want Josh Kelly to win. That's the thing. This doesn't come from play. I just hope that he can do that for 12 rounds. But I think I've not been this convinced since the Yard Benavidez fight. I think Murtazalev's going to murder him. I really do. And I think what he was doing against Tszyu, and Josh Kelly's more tricky. You know, he's got more head movement, steps in and out of range. You know, so he's not necessarily going to get caught in the same. Tim Tszyu was just walking forward, just coming forward, kept trying to pressure the pressure fighter that was a better pressure fighter. But, you know, he's got a great counter left hook, punches behind the guard. I know Josh Kelly doesn't like a much of a guard anyway. But I think it's Josh Kelly's going to have to try and keep if Murtazaliev comes in how I think, fit and ready for 12 rounds, I'm assuming he will be. This is what I'm basing it on. If he can't keep him honest, I think Murtazaliev will just get to him late. I think Josh Kelly will slow down towards the back end of the fight, gradually slow down a little bit, and I think Murtazaliev might just break him down. Josh Kelly cuts quite easily. I think there could be something like that, where like a cut stoppage. But yeah, I feel really convinced, and I'm putting my neck on the line with this prediction, that Murtazaliev is going to stop him between the 8th to 10th round. Demolition job. But I think Josh Kelly's going to start really well the first 6 rounds, and I think he might win 4 out of the first 6 rounds, Chris. I've gone very specific, but I thought, fuck it, I'm going to give a total overview of what
he's got to. I think that if that happens, and obviously it's in his hometown,
I hope it does.
That's a lot of pressure, and he crumbled under the pressure last time against Avanesian. Was that in Sunderland or Newcastle?
It's in neck of the woods. I think it was in Josh Kelly's neck. He was the A side, wasn't he?
And I think when you pile that kind of pressure on yourself, it's a bit of added, like you've got to win kind of thing. So it's just
do you think he's mentality, Chris? Like, I want to ask you, because obviously I can see the routes to victory with what you're saying there for Josh Kelly. If they have a really good game plan, I can see what you're saying. Stylistically, I just feel Murtazaliev might be all wrong. If it's a good version of Murtazaliev, he might be stylistically all wrong for Kelly, like we've seen with Avanesian. But I want to ask you a little counter question. Do you think Josh Kelly's, I'm going to ask this as me as the boxing brain, do you think his mentality can be a little bit in question sometimes, Josh Kelly? Like,
I think it was, but I think now, I think he's got a handle on that now, because when he fought the Troy Williamson fight,
good marker that was, wasn't it?
Like, if you look what he's gone on to do now to beat Callum Simpson, Ishmael Davis started coming on strong.
Yeah,
you know, and he just ran away, didn't he? And like laughing at him and dodging the punches, but he just needs to. The reflexes only last so long. One day, them reflexes won't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll find out in the fight, like, as so many boxers have. Whether they've relied, like Roy Jones is a famous one, always relied on his reflexes. And when he lost to Tava, it's like, shit, they're not as good as they used
So
to be.
are you basing, because we're both, but the problem is, and I want our viewers to understand this,
Yeah.
we're basing this on if they were active, because they've both been quite fairly inactive, not great. It's hard, when you do these breaks, it's hard to know what sort of conditioning, right, they're going in at, if they've had great camps or not, because if one of them's 20, that's going to count for a lot. If one's 20% off it, that could turn it the other way, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So it's what you're saying. I'm trying to read into what we've had, because I know how your brain works. With Josh Kelly, you basing his victory on if his reflexes, his feints, his tank, if it's all still there, he can win. But if it's maybe just slight on the decline, it could go a bit south. Is that kind of what you're?
Yeah, basically. But I just think they've both been inactive, so I think they're on level playing field, to be honest. Like, of smartness. So
they
I
must
think
be having
Josh
great
Kelly's
hand
just
speed, mustn't they?
Yeah, the hand speed, the movement. I just think he's just going to be a little bit too fast, and Josh Kelly is going to be. He's going to be on a game plan, and I think he's going to be very, very disciplined. Like, it's not going to take. It's going to be a shit fight, I think, because he's not going to take any risks. It's just going to be slap, 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 run away. Anytime he comes close to him, he's going to tie him up. He's not going to fuck about at all, messing around, trying to like showboat.
I didn't think of that angle, Chris. Actually, because I'm thinking in my mind, because I was quite itching to do this video with you. Like, I really like this. I really like it. I think it could be brilliant, but I didn't think about that. Josh Kelly, he might just absolutely stink the place out to win that IBF strap, because at 31, if he gets what I expect, if he gets murder Zaliev, clip that up. Yeah,
murder Zaliev.
Murder Zaliev. Clip that up, Chris. Video editing extraordinaire over there. What was I saying? Help me out. I've lost my train.
Yeah, because he wants that IBF strap.
Yes, if he doesn't get that IBF strap and he gets absolutely murdered, if we see an Avanesian thing where he just sort of crumbles, cut, towel comes in, takes a knee, heart goes, knocked out, broken down, whatever. At 31, with his style, it's hard to kind of see how he then wins it. I'd love him to be a world champion, but it's hard to kind of see where he then rebuilds, because if it's a damaging defeat, it would be hard to kind of see where he goes from there. But we'll have to see come the weekend. But
people don't want to pay to watch him run around the ring all night. They don't. They're not
proud, as you say. I know it's in Newcastle Arena, but I'll tell you what, the best fight could be in the crowd, Chris.
Sunderland and Newcastle, yeah.
It's all the Sunderland. I know he's apparently not as well liked as what we think, but all the Sunderland fans are going to be coming over. Like you said, you pointed out, and this is kind of it. This is me kind of rounding up, and then you kind of rounding up with what you want to say. That pressure from the home crowd. First, it's his first world title shot fight. 31 years of age, been a little bit inactive. You know, he's saying the right things. There was an interview I caught him in where he said, look, there's loads of gaps in Murtazaliev. I think I can exploit. He's wanted this fight for months, Josh Kelly's been calling it out for months. So that tells me, like what you said, he's bang up for it. So I'm just hoping under the lights and the crowd, like we saw with Ajit Kabiel the other week, Kabiel got a little bit caught up in the crowd, I think.
Yeah, of course, he felt the pressure of his home fans. Like, I've got trying to force the knockout because he was in front of his home fans. And when you try and force the knockout, it doesn't come, and it makes you look bad.
So Murtazaliev's tactic surely got to be to get Kelly into a fight early.
Yeah. He's got to go at him early. Going Josh Kelly, unanimous decision. And you're going Murtazaliev, late stop.
8 to 10, yeah, around that.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe,
but come on,
guys.
Kelly, do UK fighters, yeah? Josh, come on.
Yes, come on, Josh Kelly.
Help, I need somebody. Help, now just turn it back.